All right, before we get into this playoff episode of the Empty Netters podcast, we got to hear from our presenting sponsors, Shift Hockey. Guys, no one likes the cost of hockey sticks. It's absolutely preposterous. Even if you're the biggest hockey player in the world where you're doing 3-a-days and you play every single day, or if you're just a beer league beauty like us, every time you break your twig, paying $350 for a top-of-the-line stick is the most criminal feeling in the world. It absolutely sucks. And that's why the boys at Shift Hockey have come here to save the day. They went out, they found all of the best manufacturers, all of the best quality sticks in the game, and they have made you a top-of-the-line hockey stick for half the price. You can go to this website and you can get a stick for $150 to $170 and be out there like you're playing like one of the pros, because we have these sticks, we use them, and we know they are fantastic, high quality sticks that the best players in the world would use, and you can have them for the best discount price on the market.
It's no joke. We're getting DMs from strangers now. It used to be our friends hitting us up saying how good they are. We're getting DMs from strangers. It's got everything you need, dude. It's cool, it's grippy, it's got the right feel, the kick is there. Everything you want in a high-end stick, you are getting from this stick for a fraction of the cost.
And it's a cool-ass, sleek design, and if you guys want to get on board with this and save yourself a ton of money while still using one of the best sticks you can possibly find, go to shifthockey.com/netters, and then additionally pump in that promo code NETTERS at checkout, and you're going to save 10% on top of this. Guys, we wouldn't lie to you. We use these sticks ourselves. See one in the background right behind CP right there. These things are top-notch, and they are slashing prices in half. You'd be a fool not to get it. So if you play hockey at any level, get on board with Shift. Okay, we are recording another special playoff episode right now. We just got back from an insane weekend in Boston. We're both dying, and we're currently watching the Pacific games right now. Tampa was just up 4-1 on Toronto. It's now 4-4, 2 Matthews goals, a Morgan Riley goal, all in the third period. It's tied 4-4 now. There's less than a minute left. Looks like this one's going to OT. Tampa Bay, you are fucking losers. Right?
I am disgusted with what I've seen.
Dude, we posted a meme today saying 3-goal leads in the Stanley Cup playoffs are not safe at all, and here we go again. It's insane, the collapses that we have seen so far in these playoffs. But
and they are collapses, by the way.
Oh, like, I mean,
any 3-goal blown lead in the third period certainly is humiliating stuff.
This is pathetic, dude. Like I picked the Leafs to win this series, so did you. So I should be happy about this, but you just hate to see a goaltender like Vazzy and a good team like Tampa humiliating themselves right now, because that's all this is. This is pathetic. Like, you were potentially about to drop both games at home because you can't hold on to a 3-goal lead in the third period.
We'll get to them in a second.
Unbelievable.
Okay, we're getting right into it because I keep saying we're giving you every series, every game. We're going to start today with the Islanders and the Canes.
Yep.
Friday, the Islanders got their win. They won 5-1. They looked good. The boys were scoring and all that stuff. And I think if you were a Carolina fan, maybe you're like, God, we're on an 8-game road playoff skid. You remember last year, it was like they come to Boston and all that shit.
Couldn't win on the road at all.
And as soon as they couldn't protect home ice against New York, it was over. And maybe that's in the back of your head. Here we go again.
Yeah.
And then game 4, they show up and go up 4-0, end up beating the brakes off of the Islanders 5-2, I think it finished.
5-2, yeah. Bo Horvat finally got on the score sheet, but it was a meaningless goal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
It just felt like, sweet, we're down 5-0, and you squirt one in.
Yep.
It's great, but it's, I mean, we had a feeling that this was going to be the most boring series. Games 3 and 4, however, though, did have a more lopsided scoreline than we're used to seeing with these types of teams. That said, I think this one is, check is cashed. Waitress is going for her smoke break. The game's over.
Hova.
Yeah, I think this is over in 5. I don't think Islanders can go take care of business in Carolina in Game 5. I think Carolina will win, and this is possibly going to be the first series wrapped up.
Everything I feared would happen happened. Their power play is a disaster. They're 1 for 12.
1 for 12.
And then they can't score a goal. They can't generate chances at all on even strength. And Sorokin just hasn't been that boy. And they were only ever going to win if he was. I was big wrong about this. This was my hot upset pick, and they're going to get gentlemen swept the fuck out of the playoffs. I think it's easy in hindsight to be like, of course this was going to happen. The Islanders stink. But I think they duped me, dude, because of the way they held on to that playoff spot. But in reality, what was happening is the Penguins and Devils and Senators and Wings to a degree were actually just vomiting on themselves more than the Islanders were holding on to it. Like,
yeah, that's definitely what happened. And I give a lot of credit to the Canes here. I mean, we talked a lot about the fact that they were maybe slipping towards the end of the season. They were a wagon all year, but it looked like that last month or two wasn't that strong. They got the Svechnikov injury, and then now they've got the Teravainen injury. But they've stepped up. Their goaltending has stepped up, and it looks like they're going to get out of here with a gentleman's sweep. I think we both sort of felt at the beginning of round one, no matter who came out of the Jersey, New York series, they would be feeling pretty good playing Carolina. You're not going into Carolina sweating, but this is a great performance by the Hurricanes. I mean, this is a display of showing that they are no slouch. This isn't we played well in the first half of the season and then we just barely held on and these injuries are going to kill us. It's like, nope, they're a good fucking team. And getting slapped in the mouth 5-1 and then coming back and winning 5-2, that was a huge, huge response. And if I'm the Islanders, I think I'm packing my bag.
Yeah, statement game by the Canes. Bo Horvat after his game said, we got to start playing desperate. It's do or die. And I said, no, Bo, it is die. It's over. You're dead.
Yeah,
your season 100%. Is over. Congratulations. Let's jump to Bruins-Panthers.
Yes.
Another series that could be over in 5.
Yeah, I think you feel pretty confident if you're the Bruins, if you're a Bruins fan. I think despite the last 2 games in Florida, I still think Florida has some punch in them. It looks like Krejci is certainly out, which was a huge surprise blow when you're already without Bergeron. I would be surprised if Bergeron plays in Game 5. So I'm not going to sit here and say that this is definitely over in 5, but it's starting to look like it for sure. This is our other 3-1 series. There's been some fireworks here. There's been some fights and some scraps. And a huge shout out to the city of Boston and the Harp and Hurricanes, 2 great bars. We had some fun live podcasts and watch parties over there. Boston fans, you guys are unbelievable. Such a good time. 2 wins in Florida. That's monster for Boston. They didn't have any wins in the regular season. So pretty huge for them to get those 2 wins there. And again, I think the thing for Boston is, Chris, you and I went off on the podcast live in the Harp because there was that question. The Panthers got a big win in Game 2, and everyone was like, oh, who starts, Swayman or Ullmark? Swayman or Ullmark? And we were both kind of aligned in that, like, if you don't start Ullmark, you're just fucking dumb, and you are potentially inviting issues for your goaltending situation. But they went with Ullmark. He got a huge win, got another huge win. And I just think that, man, if you're Boston right now and you're doing this without Krejci and Bergeron, that this was the beginning of the season, you needed those 2 guys to not retire. You needed them to come back so you had strength down the middle. And now here you are, after breaking the record of most wins in the regular season, you go into your first playoff series without those 2 guys. And these dudes like Coyle, Zacha have stepped up so much. And you've gotten these monster wins on the road. You're getting huge scoring from guys like DeBrusk, guys like Bertuzzi, who is on fire in his first ever playoff series. Foligno is out here making noise. Taylor Hall has woken up. Everything is going right for the Boston Bruins right now.
Yeah, getting production from people that you needed, like you said. It is mind-blowing to me that this Bruins team... Oh, I don't know if we got to talk about this on the pod. Did we do it in the Harp? We must have. I think you did. That Berg was playing because his dad was sick.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like everyone knows that story now, and I don't blame Berg. I wouldn't have blamed Berg for playing in that game if his dad was the healthiest dude on earth. Like, play in the hockey game. I don't care about that at all.
100%. Chris, you said it to me yesterday. Like, I hate those arguments where it's like, oh my God, so-and-so plays in the 82nd game of the season and they get hurt. What a fucking disaster. But would you feel that way if they got hurt in the 80th game? Because it's the same fucking thing. So I kind of hate those arguments of, oh, it's a meaningless game, they shouldn't play, what if they get hurt? These guys want to play. Getting hurt is an anomaly, and
plenty of starters played in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
And they all didn't get hurt. But yeah, so it just is baffling to me that this Bruins team, who has faced so little adversity all year, frankly, it was one of my biggest fears about the squad. We
talked about that too, though. The beginning of the season had a bunch. You were without Marchand, you were without McAvoy, you were without Grzelcyk. That is bad.
Yep.
And they fucking pounded through the first month and or 2 of the season.
Yeah, I guess that's what I meant by adversity. Like, they had all these guys out, and then they won 30 games in a row. So it was like, we're cool.
Yeah.
And
I
maybe they just
hear
do it
you.
again.
I still think that's adversity, though. Like, start the season like we said, you could have easily gone 500 in that stretch, and then you never recover. So that's adversity.
And as you just said, they won both games in Florida. Like this
Yeah.
series right now, I made it sound like a laugher, but it's like going into 2 games in Florida where you had lost twice this year. It was 1-1.
Yeah.
So it could just as easily be 3-1 Florida.
Definitely.
So you'll take that. I had 3 things I really wanted to ask you about the series.
Yeah, hit me.
You just brought up the non-switch to Swayman. What did you think about the Cats going with Bob in Game 4?
I didn't hate it. I was a little surprised. I didn't think Game 3 was that definitive. You know, it's like the Bees went up, but Florida got those late 2 goals.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, all right, lock in, dude. Finish this game. I was a little surprised to see the switch. It is always funny when you've got a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky on your bench. It's like, should we go to him or should we not go to him? So I didn't hate it, but you know, he gave in 5 goals and 30 shots.
Yeah.
Like, he just did not play well. And it's just, man, that guy signed that contract and has just fucking mailed it in, sitting on his yacht down in Florida, fucking hanging out.
Dude, you can see that like Lion was playing just in between. He wasn't playing bad enough to be the obvious pull. Oh, the playoffs are too big for you, but he wasn't playing good enough to keep the job for sure. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Bob let in 5 goals on 30 shots, but he made a few saves that Lion isn't capable of on his best day ever.
Yeah.
Including the one that Brad eventually scored on. Like that first save, he is in a full flat split across the ice and gets the push off and gets that stop.
Yeah.
And then couldn't find the rebound or whatever. I think there was one, I think it was Jake's second that he should have caught. So he let in, a tough one. He made the glove save and just dropped it. And then Jake tucked in, I think.
I thought you meant the one timer across the crease.
No,
that was no way.
No, so there was some mistakes in there too, but I'm with you. I didn't hate that play. I would and early I was like, oh shit, Bob's on one. So I was like, this is gonna be bad. But I just don't know. You never can tell what the guys in the locker room think. We've been on plenty of teams where the goalie's a sieve.
Yeah.
And you play different because you're like, I can't even give up a shot. I got to do this. I got to do that differently. And you just, I don't know. But I hope the staff of Florida knew what the trust level the guys had in Bob, because if not, because dude, they had like 50 shots in that game. Florida, the Bees had the Panthers were I wouldn't say they were all over the Bruins, but for the first 10 minutes it was a bloodbath.
Game 4?
Yeah. The Bruins didn't have a shot for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it was one of those weird things. Like I turned to you and I was like, the Bruins are playing great. They just don't have a shot on the cage. Like they had tons of zone time.
Yeah.
They were just getting shots blocked or missed. They had 5 shots in the first 5 minutes that just missed the net. Like guys just whistling pucks by. But that shot thing, it was lopsided. And the Panthers are getting a ton of shots.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation, but I hear you.
So that was interesting. Second thing, and Brad, we can talk about Ullmark here, because I felt like coming into this series, I'm like, oh, Matty Tkachuk's the best player on the Panthers. I know Matty Tkachuk would tell you that Barkov's the best player on the Panthers. Mm-hmm. And he probably is. But Tkachuk is nasty. And what he does is he's a 100-point guy he's Marchand, dude. Like he's a 100-point guy who's also going to get under your skin. They play different games, different sizes, obviously, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I think that's a fantastic.
And Tkachuk is out there scoring in that first game, and he's getting I know that was a weird bounce, but sick between the legs, talk per usual in Game 4, while also you brought this up after Game 2, being cool, calm, and collected, having the right attitude, and maybe it didn't work because of the result of the last 2 games, but being annoying, getting under the Bruins player's skin.
Definitely.
And so for me, I'm like, this is a masterclass Matty Tkachuk performance. A lot of points, leading the team in points, leading the team in pest. Great. And then
leading the team in pest ranking.
Yeah. But then Ty Anderson, who I love, I showed you, he tweeted, bang. Oh, that's a replay. Tweeted that, or no, is that live, bro?
No, yeah.
Yeah, this one's live.
Seattle just goes up 1-0 over Colorado.
He tweeted that Matthew Tkachuk has been an absolute clown out there today.
Yeah.
I don't know what he said. I'm a fan of his, but there's this.
Yeah, he was like, he's a great player, but this is
Yeah.
a clown show performance.
And I just wasn't seeing that at all. And I know there was some extracurricular shit in the bar. It's hard to be dialed in with the audio. There's a million things going on. But where were you? And we can talk about the Ullmark fight of it there. But are you seeing that with Tkachuk? Are you like, this is an embarrassing performance by him?
I completely agree with you.
Okay,
but here's the thing. It's not like you said. Ty Anderson's very smart. He's a great hockey analyst, and I don't think what he's saying is completely unfounded. I think this is a case. In my opinion, Tkachuk has done 2 things. The cross check to Garnet Hathaway was horseshit.
Yep.
That is a gnarly. You talked about it with Ryan Suter.
Yeah.
And that's not even in front of the net. This was like whistle had blown behind the net, end of the play. Hathy is just standing against the boards, and Tkachuk comes flying in and gives him one right in the
ribs,
back
right?
of the ribs. And that should have been a big time penalty. I don't think it was malicious, but it was just Tkachuk's trying to do too much. And then the shit with Ullmark at the end of the game was, again, too much. I don't think any of it was ratty behavior. I don't think any of it was, Jesus, this guy's out of control. But what I think this is a case of Matthew Tkachuk is the best player on this team. He is trying to carry the team both emotionally and with his play on the ice. And he is seeing that they're outclassed, and it's getting to him. It's like when you see a star player on a team who's just getting frustrated because they're like, fuck, dude, I can't do enough. And part of his game is that pesty game. So it's just, he's turning that dial too much.
Which we've seen Brad do.
Yep. Then that's all I think it is. I have zero problem with what Matty Tkachuk is doing out there. And yeah, Brian, to get to the Ullmark thing, that was funny. You know, the game was over. The Bruins had won. There was a play in front of the net. Tkachuk got tied up in the crease. And as the play's moving on, Tkachuk, I'm sure words were said, but Tkachuk grabs Ullmark's jersey and like rips him down. And that's like immediately Carlo and Forbert dive on Tkachuk. Ullmark gets in the mix. And I said to Chris, like, as a Bruins fan, I loved Ullmark dropping his gloves, but I also loved how you could see Tkachuk was talking to him, and he was saying something like, oh yeah, dude, you're going to fucking fight me right now. Like, you can see the look on his face. He's like, put your shit back on, dude. You're not about to fucking scrap with me. But I love the energy from Ullmark because that fires up the fans. It fires up the team. It's great stuff.
What did you think, Bri?
Yeah, it fired me up. I don't know. I saw your story.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, goalie fight? I was like, I'm going to tune in right now.
Dude, the bar
was over.
Dan's right. The bar went nuclear as soon as that happened. But he's also right in that I am very sure neither dude, and I'm not saying if there were no refs there, they wouldn't have thrown. I'm sure they would have. But I'm just saying neither dude wanted anything to do with that. Like, Ullmark didn't want to get his brains beat in by Tkachuk, which is what would happen. Tkachuk didn't want to deal with I just hit a goalie in the face because that neither of them wanted that fight at all, big picture.
Is that a bad look to like beat up on the goalie?
Oh, dude.
Well, here's the thing. If they had gone at it, if the ref wasn't there, the Bruins players wouldn't have let it happen.
Oh, okay.
Like someone would have flown in and ripped Tkachuk off of him. So it would have been mayhem.
It would have been mayhem.
And I would have loved it.
but I think, and this is the perk of being Ullmark in this situation, and maybe
I
Dan,
just want to interrupt and say right now, we've got the Leafs Lightning OT going on live right now. So when there's a big interruption in this podcast, when we freak out, it's probably
that's
because
it.
of that game.
If you are Tkachuk, this is something you kind of have to keep in mind. And granted, it was the end of that game, but if you poke Ullmark and he gets to rip his helmet off and chuck it at your feet, even though you're never going to fight, Ullmark looks like the fucking man right now.
Yeah.
And the crowd is going ballistic. The Boston fans there and the bars are here going ballistic. It's just like, it's such a fire up moment for the team.
For sure.
And I'm like, why did you even put yourself in the situation where Ullmark got to fake flex in front of you?
To do that. Yeah.
Like, dude,
no, it's true.
this is only going to look bad for you because you can't even hit him.
Yeah. So what's your third question?
Even though I said starting Swayman in game 3 would be the height of insanity, would you start Swayman in game 5?
Yes, I would. You're going back to Boston, especially if Bergeron comes back. We talked about this, on the pod at the Harp. Swayman is a top 5 goalie in the NHL, statistically speaking. I think all of the guys are confident as hell with Swayman between the pipes. I think that there's a world where you look at the fact that Ullmark has not played this many games in a row all season long in this many days. And it's not a bad idea to just give him a quick rest. And it's what we said with the Fleury thing, right? If you start Swayman game 5 and he takes care of business and you gentlemen sweep and you move on to the next round, you look so swaggy. You're like, there you go. Swayman, good job, good game, way to get in there. If you lose, I do think it's kind of annoying because you're like, fuck,
back
to
Florida.
now. And like, now you go back to Ullmark. And Ullmark's like, oh, well, I got to win now. There's just like weird elements of pressure. It's so interesting, dude. There's something about what goalies you play in the playoffs is so rattling. I think it's such a head game. I personally would do it. I think you are the better team. Swayman is a great goaltender. He came in with the last 4 minutes there and like made a couple good saves.
Yeah.
Like I just think you do it and you don't even think about it. And you're like, go. Get this win. Let's get out of here.
For a long time, I was like, definitely do it. You kind of talked me into everything you just described. If he loses and then Ulmark comes back in, it's all kind of rattling.
Yeah.
The reason I'm for it is because Swayman is good, and I read that was Ulmark's first 4 games in 7 days since November, and obviously we get like that extra day. We're not going till Wednesday, but I don't hate getting Ulmark some rest. I think the counter is just win Wednesday.
Then
Beat them in 5 and you get the rest because hopefully these other series go long or whatever. But I was laughing with some boys back home. We were reminiscing about the 2011 Cup, and Tim Thomas was the only. I asked the guys, do you want to start Sway? And they were like, fuck no, dude. It's going to be Ulmark the whole time. And they said because in 2011, only one goalie in that entire playoffs played every second of their team's run.
Yeah.
And it was Tim Thomas.
Yep.
So they were like, we just got to go Ulmark the whole time. And then Ulmark tries to fight Kachuk and gets jacked out of that game. And Swayman has to come in to finish it for 4 minutes in a blowout. And I just slowly look over at everyone. And they were like, oh no. This little peacocking performance cost us everything.
Yeah.
So it's either costs us everything, or now you can freely play Swayman because it was fucked anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Bergeron suits up on Wednesday, but the Bees are looking pretty good. Let's bounce to Avs Kraken.
Another one we caught one of.
How
this
you feeling
weekend.
about your spunk, dude?
So, dude, I stand by Spunk. I bet on the Kraken last game with our Netters promo on BetMGM. DM us if you need that
Dude,
shit.
I made the 2 first bets of my life, and I won both of them. I feel good. I feel like I'm a gambling man.
Well,
It's a good high. I've
dude,
been there.
it's a really good high.
'Cause all my friends gamble, and I don't really gamble that much. But when they gave me like free bets, I was like hitting a couple. I was like, oh shit, like,
Dude, yes. I truly don't gamble at all, and I signed up for BetMGM, and I was like, and Chris is right. If you guys want 200 free bucks to bet with, DM us.
But yeah,
I dropped 2 bets and I hit them both, and I was like, whoa, dude. Maybe I should start gambling.
I lost. I hit the Kraken and lost, but I stand by Spunk. I'm seeing Spunk all over the place already. They're up a goal, and
They are.
They're gonna. I hope they're hydrating because they're gonna need to spunk themselves dry if they're gonna come home even up right now. But I think they can do it, dude, because they're full of spunk.
They are full of spunk. It was, that first game was rattling for me. I called the sweep and immediately got PP whacked, and I was like, oh shit, oh Jesus, Toronto's about to go on the power play and win.
This game is over.
Yep, that's it. You're dead, Tampa. Yeah, I got PP whacked hard, but after we talked about last pod, after going down 2-0 in game 2, Colorado just immediately responded in game 3.
Dude, game 3 was like Seattle scored first, and I was like, cool. And then Colorado went up 3-1, and I was like, oh, yes, it's over. And then Seattle tied it 3, and I was like, oh, dude. And then Colorado went like this. Moose, Nate, Moose.
Goal. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And like we said, dude, it's their big boys too. Like
Yeah.
their big boys are being like this. No. You cannot do this. But you love to see Seattle jump out first again. This is 4 straight games where Seattle gets the first goal, I believe.
Cool.
And
Didn't realize that.
Yep, Seattle is they're coming out strong, dude. They want to win. You are right, Chris. I got to give you your credit. They do have spunk, dude. Like they're a team, and it's sick to watch. I kind of want Seattle to win this game, because I think it'll just be cool. It'll be a cool test for Colorado as the Cup winners of last year and winners of their division playing a wild card team. Wow, did that hit the post? Jesus Christ, Marner. But yeah, I just think it'd be awesome for the city of Seattle, for that team to be like this. Yeah, we, as many wins as you can get against this Colorado team is going to look cool, and fucking go out there and try to win. So I think Colorado has shown their veteran presence in this series, especially in last game. They really showed it in game 2, and then they doubled down in game 3. So we'll see how this one shakes out. It's currently 1-0 Seattle, but yeah, this is much more exciting than I anticipated.
Agree. You don't want to get in the habit of going down 1-0 every fucking game, but it is wild that Colorado is just so Colorado is so unfazed by that. And I actually would really like Seattle's home fans to get one. So got to get it tonight.
Yeah,
most likely.
All right, the CP Boy Bowl, Vegas Jets.
Vegas Jets. Another one happening right now. It's 1-1 right now.
Yep, we almost saw a colossal collapse on Saturday night.
Okay, so we saw the Saturday game. 4-1 Vegas going into the third, and Jets score 3 unanswered. In that game, to build that 4-1 lead, we had 2 power play goals and an apple from my golden boy.
Dude, Brian, are you aware of what's happening right now?
About
Jack Eichel?
Yeah, the Eichel watch. Yeah.
Dude, Eichel watch is a measly 2 points away from DP eating 72 shrimp right at North End in Manhattan
Goal.
Beach. Goal! Toronto wins. You are fucking dead, Tampa. You are dead. What a bunch of assholes.
I can't believe this because
oh my God.
I'm still going to give my take later about what was happening in this series and what should have happened in this series. But this is like,
do we jump to this right now? We have to jump to this right now.
Okay,
We're gonna jump. We're gonna jump. We'll come back to Vegas Jets. We are going to jump to Toronto Tampa because holy shit, this is pathetic. Pathetic.
First game in Tampa, they have won. They outplay the Leafs the whole game, and then Ryan O'Reilly scores with a minute left, and then they steal the game. And then
tonight you're talking about.
No, their first game in Tampa, game 3. And then in this game, the Lightning beat the fucking brakes off the Leafs again for the entire game.
Yeah.
And then give up 3 goals in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
On all like midair Matthews tips, seeing eye wrist shots, like just ridiculous bullshit happening. What makes no sense to me, and I'm genuinely being serious, is, and I don't mean to jinx the Leafs because they've blown leads like this and Tampa's a good team and they could easily win 3 games in a row. But coming into this series, I genuinely felt like the Leafs were the better team, which is why I picked them.
Yeah, I agree.
And even though I picked 7, I was like, I could see it in 6. I could see it in 5. Like, they're better. All they have to do is win 2 at home, split 1 in Tampa, and they win in game 5, whatever. But then I watched the series, and Tampa kicked the shit out of them in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto returns the favor in game 2, but only because the Lightning's 2 best defensemen get hurt and leave mid-game.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. And then in game 3, Tampa played way better and puked on themselves. And in game 4, Tampa played way better and puked on themselves. So now I'm like, dude, when we came into and sat down in the studio and it was 4-1, I was like, the Lightning are going to win this series in 6. This is over, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, they have been better in every game that they actually had a healthy, they didn't have their 2 best players die mid-game.
So,
and now the Leafs, it's over, dude. This series is over.
Yeah, this is crazy. And here's what I got to say. And I'm going to give some credit here to Tampa fans because I know that they're thinking this. The tying goal in this performance. I mean, dude, they come into this game up 4-1 and these fucking bums give up 2 Austin Matthews goals and then a Morgan Riley goal. Like it got to 4-3 and we unfortunately weren't recording yet. And I was like, I guarantee Toronto ties this game. And they did it on a Morgan Riley goal. And this is what I got to say. In game 3, Morgan Riley fucking choo-choo trained, ran Braden Point from behind straight into the boards.
Horrific play.
And didn't even get a penalty. That was a game misconduct.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says about rate of play. That is you are an idiot moron, Morgan Riley. You're not paying attention to the game. You're staring at Braden Point's numbers and you cross-check him in the back
and he's
about
like
4 feet away from the boards. It was a terrible, terrible hit and he should have been ejected from that game. And then he scored the overtime winner. And then he scored the tying goal in this. So Morgan Riley is like boogeyman numero uno for the Tampa Bay Lightning fans right now. And if I were a Bolts fan, I would want his head on a spike. And he is currently deading you. So this is crazy, dude. You just said it. I think Tampa absolutely has played better the last 2 games. They obviously played way better in game 1. I don't believe that Toronto deserves to be in this position at all.
They've been the worst team in 3 of the games.
I truly do not believe you deserve to be in this position at all, Toronto. But, dude, good for you.
Yeah.
Because this is what it takes, dude. It takes these disgusting, dirty games that you've literally never been able to pull off, and you're doing it right now. Getting these 2 wins in Tampa, no less, the way you've done it, grimy, gross, semi-sketchy wins. Fuck yeah, dude. And you've got fucking Kyle Dubas up there chirping at Tampa Bay fans. This is what it takes, dude. This is the difference maker. And it's not over yet. You have fucking pissed down your leg multiple times in the past, but I'm telling you, this is why I picked Toronto. They feel different, and that is a monster win.
Dude, I couldn't agree more with feeling different. I was so positive that the Leafs would go. Like I said, I would pick them to win, but I was so positive the Leafs would go. This went 7. It was like super high scoring or whatever. Like maybe the games Tampa wins, Vasi played great, who knows? But I was like, this is gonna go 7, and it's gonna be an insanely nerve-wracking series for Toronto. And even though they're gonna win this time, they're gonna look like Toronto has always looked. And I welcome the opportunity to absolutely steamroll them as a Bruins fan. And now, dude, I have never been more scared of a team in my life than I am of this Toronto Maple Leafs team because what they're doing makes no sense.
Yeah, this is big time.
Like
mojo.
you are. Oh, we just pull games out of our ass. It is written in the stars. There is no way we can lose. We've been the worst team for this entire game, but we'll just win anyway. Yeah, and they've got that going big time right now. I don't think Tampa gets out of Game 5.
Oh, I'm not ready to say that. I mean, if you're Tampa, I'm sick to my stomach right now. Like, I'm legitimately queasy. That said, we saw them in game 1 of this series beat the brakes off of Toronto in Toronto. So there's nothing about this series that makes me think Toronto's going to go home and easily win that game. But I won't be surprised if they gentlemen sweep. What a statement.
Oh my God.
And
dude.
yeah, I agree. If you're Boston, you're like, fuck me, dude. Like, this is a scary Toronto team that we're about to face.
Like, I was like, we are obviously sweeping the Panthers or whoever we play, and the Lightning Leafs is obviously going 7. They're going to beat the shit out of each other and be like limp into the second round. And now Toronto's like, I've been resting for a week after I dusted Tampa out of the playoffs.
I love it. I mean, this is monster. Also, Seattle goal just there, up 2-0 on Colorado. We've got mayhem in the streets.
Spunk everywhere in Seattle.
That's a lot of spunk, dude. That's a lot of spunk.
Looks like spunk to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's spunk, dude. There's spunk all over the ice. Sprung with some spunk right there.
2 things. Alexander Kerfoot scored that goal, and he was the Gordle answer
Yes.
for our games that you should go check out on Instagram.
That's fucking right, dude. Let's go. But yeah, I love it, dude. I mean, this is mayhem, and I'm also here to say, again, lots going to happen, but we might be looking right now with that overtime goal at the end of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes. I think I felt that way this year, no matter what. Like, I was like, there's no chance this is happening for the Lightning again. But so it was coming anyway. But yes, you're right. I certainly picked them to lose in the first round, but I didn't think it was going to go this poorly for them. And yeah, man,
Wild
I'm just
stuff.
getting ahead of myself, but it's like, I'm now thinking too, what's extra crazy is if you're the Bruins, any loss is unacceptable this year. You got to win the cup after the season you had.
Correct.
But I can't think of a worse possible scenario
Than
than
losing
a
to the
second round
Maple
loss to the Leafs.
Yeah.
Like, that is truly nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it'd be awful if, like, I can see the look on Marchand's face and Bergeron's face if that happens. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, listen, long way to go for Toronto, but boy golly, you feel great right now. Let's get back to Jets Vegas.
So he's got 4 points in Jack, my golden boy, has 4 points in 3 games. Eichel Watch is on high alert. We are 2 points away, literally 2. You might do it tonight. You might do it while I'm sitting here.
Yep.
And I was thinking to myself, man, Dan was so generous giving me 2 rounds. I should have just taken 1 because it looks like he could do it in 1 round. But then I was like,
you might do it tonight. You might do it in 4 games.
But then I was like, oh, dude, I forgot it's not just a pass fail. It's a it's a how many points he finishes with impacts what you have to do. So I get my 2 rounds still. Like, he could finish with 90 now, like I don't care if he passes it tonight. I get to keep going. So that was generous of you and potentially life-threatening.
Yeah, for sure.
But so, start prepping your shrimp palate because that's
dude.
coming for you hard and fast.
Like I said, we were just in Boston eating a ton of seafood, and I actively didn't eat any shrimp all weekend because I was like, there's a good chance that a lot of this is coming my way.
But enough about my boy. That game Saturday was nuts. You just said it, 3 unanswered by the Jets. The place was going ballistic. That crowd, they do the whiteout thing, right? The crowd looks so fresh. And actually, I think they're doing it again tonight too. The Jets are wearing dark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vegas wears white because they're the road team, and then the whole crowd does like the whiteout thing.
The whiteout,
I was like,
what's their thing? Like
I know, but they should just have the Jets wear white at home. Like, that's not hard.
No, it's the white wall. It's cool. Because
So-
it's not like Vegas is like white. Like, they've got all their shit.
Yeah, but it's confusing. But crazy game. Unanswered goals, sent it to OT, double OT. Helly made 43 saves. LB bounced back, had a pretty game as well. I really liked the fight from the Jets. It's easy to roll over in that game and kind
Yeah.
of just take one. They didn't.
Dude, we just saw it. It's the identical situation. Vegas was up 4-1 in that game. Let the Jets come back and tie it 4-4, and then they won in overtime. Tampa Bay could not just do that.
Yep.
And like, dude, those are those things. It's like when you let these games get tied, it's already humiliating, but you cannot lose it.
Mark Stone said that exact quote. He was like, "You don't want to win them that way, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
The players
matter.
just
It's a
the game."
win. Yeah.
Yep.
So that and that's a big thing for Vegas.
Yes. I wanted to pick the Jets, or not that I'm changing my pick. I'm obviously got Vegas in the series, but I liked so much what I saw about the Jets team, fans, the environment alone. Jesse from Bar Down was there. I don't know if you saw any of his vids, like just going
He was going
insane.
nuts.
That I was like, the environment alone is going to get them at least one of these home games. But then disaster struck. Josh Morrissey goes knee to D, and
Morrissey is what I wanted to
is
talk
done
about.
for the rest of the series.
Morrissey is out for the series. He is easily your best defenseman. That's brutal, dude. I think that these games have been really fun. We talked about this is a series that I think not a ton of people are watching, and it's a blast. All of these games have been great. There's players flying all over the ice. All Chris's boys are scoring goals. I think Vegas has really looked like the better team since the Bruce Cassidy chat.
Yeah.
That between period chat, Vegas has clicked in big time.
When he spanked them.
Yeah, big time. Their goaltending has been so much better, which is wild given the circumstances. But this is, I think, a monumental game tonight for Winnipeg. It's 1-1 right now. Vegas is up 2-1 on the series. You've got to hope that your home ice gets you something here.
And just, dude, the Morrissey's just such a gut shot, dude.
It's such a gut shot,
You hope it missed the major organs, but I think it clipped the liver, and it's doing that. It's leaking all the poison into your body.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how that works if you shoot the liver.
Yeah, but it sounds good.
I do know.
You're just poisoning all the other organs. It's all falling apart, dude.
I do know how the Jets work, and that's with a healthy Josh Morrissey, which they do not have.
It's true.
So this one will be interesting, but it will feel very Bruins, Panthers, and that. You're like, oh, the better team dropped home ice. And then you just go take both on the road, and you're like, never mind. Well, we got you.
Yeah. Let's kick it to the Star Bowl. Wild Stars. Tyler Seguin's winding back the clock here.
And I love it. I love him. I'll always love him, and I'm happy to see it. On that topic, both his goals are power play goals. What did I tell you after 2 games with Minnesota? I said they're giving out PPGs like they're fucking free samples at Costco.
Yep.
And 2 more. Yeah. They're 2 for 5 cents. So I think I wrote it down. They are 7 for 16 on the series, dude. You cannot let that happen.
Yeah.
Here's what I wrote down about this that I am on high alert about.
Let me see if you got the same one. Something that I think is a big bad for Minnie is Otter got hot.
Yes, dude.
After a tough game, last performance.
Bad game.
A monster need to win for Dallas. That was one of my bets, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Dallas pulls out a huge win on the back of a very, very Otter-like Otter performance with a last-minute huge sliding across the crease save that was just the biggest drop your nuts and just be that boy. And
dude,
he was.
We tweeted about this. That save was so sick that he's too good. That the save didn't even look as sick as it could. A lesser goalie is still stretching so hard and just snags it. Otter came across so hard, it like hit him right. He almost like headed it out of the net.
Yeah.
And he needed that. The Stars needed that because I think it was 24 shots to give up 4 goals.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a straight up bad
it was not there. Here's what I was putting on high alert. The Dallas Stars I had picked to come out of the West in a bunch of brackets I filled out. I just thought Otter could get hot. I think they're pretty dangerous. They have an X factor in Robo, a lot of things. They do not look like the better team in this series.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a weird balance because we watched Dallas perform so well all season, and Robo is quiet.
Yes.
And that's why I said it'd be so crucial to get into the playoffs and have guys like Ben and Sagan get going, and they are. But if you're Robo, dude, I
need you.
Rupe's going.
Yep.
Heiskanen's going a little bit, but Robo needs to pick it up here if Dallas really wants to push through the series.
So they go. You get popped. If you're Dallas, you get popped. Then you win big because they go to Fleury.
Yep.
And then Gus comes back. You get damn near shut out again.
Yeah.
And you're in Minnesota, like, yo. And Gus is obviously starting, and if we lose this game, we're dead. So this one felt massively important if I was Dallas. Basically trying to save their season. They do it in a big way. Like you said, Otter looks really good. They get to Gus a little bit. Not that Gus got lit up, but they get to Gus a little bit. I think that's really helpful. You listed the positives for Dallas. The positives, if you're Mini, though, for me, here are Dallas's shots.
Yeah.
27 in game 1 in regulation. They ended up having like a ton, but because it went double overtime. 31 when they scored 7 goals. 24. you are stifling this offense.
Big time.
Your PK, like, stay out of the box, Jack. Oh my God. the either stay out of the box or clean up your penalty kill, and and make the Stars beat you 5-on-5, which they have not been able to do at all. So yeah, that's a tough loss for Minnesota. You had a chance to put the stranglehold on the series, but Minnesota, if they keep playing this way, isn't that worried, I don't think. They go back to Dallas they go back to this best of 3, knowing there's 2 in Dallas, but going, it doesn't matter, we can win anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's true. This one is fun. And I think that shots thing, like we said, goes back to Robo a lot. Like, Robo, you got to get going, dude. That's how you're going to get more shots.
Pav's out still, right?
Last time I checked.
See if he played last night.
All right, we're going to move on to the tri-state area with a little Rangers Devils. And what do you know? Old Danny Boy was right. Old Danny Boy said that the Devils were the best road team in the league, and I wouldn't get too comfortable if I were the Rangers. Yep. You scored a lot of goals. A couple 5-1 wins. Good job, good job. But you're now playing the Road Warriors, and bing, bang, 2 wins. Series tied 2-2.
I picked them, obviously, the Devils, being the Devils. So I'm happy about this. I had put on Twitter before today that this series would be of the 4 series that are 2-1, only 2 of them would leave 2-2.
Yeah.
I said the Jets I said the Kraken were going to lose. Mm-hmm. Done. I said the Jets would probably tie it. And then I said the Bolts will tie it. I was obviously wrong about the Bolts. But I put down for Jersey, prove me wrong. I would be thrilled if you did it. You're just not doing enough. You come into that game 3 in New York, of course, but like in a must-win, season on the line game, and you're just mustering no real offense. You win that game 2-1 in overtime. You know, I'm like, dude, I need the output. I need this big game here, and they weren't doing it. No. Frankly, they didn't really do it tonight either. Like, we have a great new fun Twitter follower, and we had pointed out last pod that Shesty hasn't really been tested, and he backed us up with some great data. Check out on our Twitter page; you guys can find it. But it's the same shit in games 3 and 4. Dude, like the Devils shoot 20 times a game.
I was right about to say they got a 2-1 win in OT in game 3 on 24 shots, I think it was, and then tonight they win 3-1 on 23 shots.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, like, dude, you guys scored so many goals all season. What's going on? Get pucks on net. This is fucking crazy. And yeah, man, I said Shesty hasn't been tested, and then here we go. You got 2 losses now. Like, you give up, realistically, 2 goals because one was an empty netter, but
which count.
You know, you're giving up those 2 on 22 shots, and it's like, if you're the Devils, I think I'm talking to that locker room, and I'm like, guys, let's start fucking firing the puck more. Get more scoring opportunities. I know they don't, come easily, but they did all season. You guys won. Yep. You were well over 100 points. Fourth highest goal total in the league. You are a good goal scoring team, and if they start clicking, I'd be freaked out a little bit. Because if you come out in game 5 and all of a sudden they put 35 shots on net, you're probably going to win that game, and then you're a little bit like, oh fuck. So
right,
this is interesting.
You get in your head when you play a really sick goalie that every shot has to be perfect. Instead of just creating... Look at the Leafs, by the way. Mm-hmm. They're playing one of the best playoff goalies in the league, and they're just going like this. Hey, Morgan Riley, close your eyes and throw pucks over your head backwards, and maybe they'll all go in. And they do.
They do.
And I'm like, okay, so maybe try that. I do think if you're the Rangers, with all the hype, dude, all the Rangers fans, sorry, Bri, all the hype about how... dude, actually, when the Rangers pulled their goalie today and trying to tie that game, and the announcers are like, on the ice...
Oh my God, dude.
Zibanejad, 6 players. On the ice, Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin, Adam Fox, Tarasenko, and Kane. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That is the most ridiculous.
It's got to be the best goalie pull roster in the NHL.
That is the best goalie pull roster I've ever heard.
And not even on the ice is Keandre Miller and Jacob Trouba. And you're just like, whoa, God.
Mind-blowing
nuts
goalie pull roster. But with all the hype about all the firepower the Rangers have, I heard Ryan Whitney say on Chicklets that he was like, I think he picked the Rangers to win, but he was like, the Devils are faster and will outchance you.
Yeah.
And I feel that way too, but he's one of the first people I've heard say that. But I think the evidence is on screen. The Rangers are happy to play this like slow, heavy checking game where both teams get 20 shots. And by the way, if you're the Rangers and you have Shesty and they are faster and can outchance you, why wouldn't you want to play that game?
Agree, man.
They don't want to play a 35-35 shot game with the Devils.
And that's what we said last episode. Kreider's got a 2-bedroom condo right in front of the crease, and that still hasn't changed. He is, I think probably has the most points of anyone on the Rangers or up there.
Yeah.
And he just looks dangerous, dude. He looks like dangerous Chris Kreider. And yeah, I don't really see anyone moving him out of the way. So this series has become as electric as I wanted it. And that pumps me up.
And
I think both of these teams, actually, that's hard to say to the Rangers because they played so well in games 1 and 2 on the road. Both of these teams, however, I think have another gear that they haven't got.
Yeah.
Certainly New Jersey. And if you're New York, you got to make sure they don't find it. And I think even though you've lost 2 games, you're through 4 and you haven't let them find it. You haven't let them find their high-flying, young, quick-paced hockey games that they've won so many games with. So regardless of the 2 losses, if you're New York, you are happy with what you've done to them. You're limiting them to under fucking 30 shots a game. And if I'm Jack Hughes, I am looking around at my teammates like that fucking kid has a goal in every one of the last 3 games.
Man.
And yeah, if you're looking at some guys, like if you're looking at Palat, if you're looking at Bratt, you're looking at Heischer, you're definitely going like this. Let's go, boys. Like fucking start getting some pucks on net here.
And what an unlikely spark they got then from their fucking backup goalie, dude. Sorry for burying the lead, but I am fascinated by this. Vitek, who we've been chirping for a while now, has been lit up in 2 games and gets the yank.
Akira Schmid, dude. Akira Schmid comes in and just
22-year-old little Swiss boy.
Yeah.
I'm calling him Ahsoka, by the way, because he's a Padawan that no one's ever heard of.
Love
and
that.
his name kind of sounds like that. So that's what we're working with from now on, just so everyone's clear. He comes in and stops.
You gonna allow that, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, can I read you a text that my dad sent me after the game?
Yes.
Please.
Is this after tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
after they lost. Did you watch the Rangers? They're choking against a rookie goaltender. Disgraceful performance in the playoffs. The worst I've ever seen. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But
Dude, but
I would respond to him and go, "Did you just watch that Tampa Bay Toronto game?"
Yeah.
Because that was a bigger choke.
I think he meant worst Rangers.
Yeah,
choke.
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
I love it.
But
I
I
love
agree.
the fire.
Being up 2-0, coming home, and then putting in that kid, Ahsoka was born in the year 2000.
Yeah. I got confused there for a second.
He's younger than me.
We need to be beating him if you're the Rangers. But he's playing phenomenal. He made 35 saves on 36 shots in his playoff fucking debut. Saves the season, dude. Like their season is on life support and they turn to Ahsoka. And he's back in the pipes tonight. Made a massive stop in the first, which turned immediately into a Jack Hughes breakaway, which obviously turned immediately into a goal, humiliating Shesty because he's fucking Jack Hughes, which was incredible. But very similar thing here. Like we were saying, I don't know that you can pray to win these games 2-1 because your rookie goalie's standing on his head and stifling this Rangers team.
Yeah, you cannot. Here's the thing, dude. Devils, good, 2 wins. You will not win the series like this. You absolutely will not. You went on the road, you did what you did all season long, and you got shit done, and you got the 2 wins to tie up the series. You will not beat this Rangers team playing this tight of hockey with this few shots. You need to step it up and find that next level or you're going home.
It almost feels like this next one, Game 5 in Jersey, is must win for the Devils. Because if you lose that one and go back to New York, are the Rangers going to dump all 3 at home? You know, you're the best road team, maybe, but I'm like, if you lose this one at home, New Jersey, I'm like, that might have been it. You kind of got to be like, all right, let's just win this one. We have a little wiggle room in New York and whatever. But this Ahsoka story is firing me up because it's like shades of Holtby, you know, like these
Definitely.
a complete unknown goalie coming in and stealing the show. I'll be really excited to see him because he's been nails.
Agree. All right, before we move on, I do want to just say, we got excited. We talked about the Leafs Lightning. I mentioned it on the Instagram, and I think last episode, nightmare scenario for Tampa and me personally, but like playoff Ryan O'Reilly is obnoxious.
Dude,
like what a good get. I know Toronto fans chirped me in I mentioned, I was like, this feels like the Foligno deal with the injury immediately, but O'Reilly is back, and dude, good God, the guy's just like in the right place at the right time. He's nothing fucking special. out there.
Yeah.
He's not making the craziest plays, but he just knows how to get it done, and it's wild. It's really wild to see.
It feels like he's involved in every impactful
Yeah.
moment of the game.
So huge stick taps to ROR. It's unbelievable.
and Dubas for being like,
Yeah, fuck yeah. Knowing that
for being
that's
like,
the guy
I
to
need
get.
D, but I'm going to get him
That's
too.
a guy to get. Okay, moving on to our final and my favorite series of
Holy
the playoffs
shit,
so far.
dude.
Kings Oilers. This shit has just been mayhem all over the place. All over the place.
The game 3 we had talked about, the Kings got to be different this time around if they want to win this series. They go up 1-0, and I'm like, oh. And then McDavid scores twice on the power play.
Yep.
And we had just said they're over 30% of the power play. You can't be taking penalties. We had just said McDavid's going to wake up soon.
Be careful.
It felt like, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, this is about to be a bloodbath. But then they tie it up and win the game in OT.
Yeah. Let me
Let's talk about the high.
controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Controversy on a high stick here. Puck goes into the corner. Velarde is in the corner. It goes straight up over his head. And there's all these slow-mo, slowed down videos where it looks like this puck is fluttering up and up and up and then just hits the tip of Velarde's stick and then comes down. Connor is the only person on the ice who puts his hand up. He's like, that's a high stick. I think in those scenarios, probably if Connor's seeing it like that, and there are some clips, it looks like it just does maybe hit his stick. But Oilers fans are losing their shit because it doesn't get called, and on that play, Trevor Moore gets a feed from behind the net, buries it, and wins the game in overtime. What no one's talking about on that clip is that the puck falls seemingly directly after hitting, maybe, allegedly, hitting Velarde's stick. It falls down and looks like it hits or grazes off the back of Ekholm, which means play on.
High stick wiped.
But no one's talking about that for
It's
some reason.
crazy.
And it's clear that the refs looked at it and they were like, listen, it's either we can't prove that hit his stick because it is a little sketchy, or they were like, even if it did, it hit Ekholm, so we're fine.
Yep.
We didn't get the explanation, but
Yeah, did they say something? Because we weren't.
they just said
at
the call on the
bar
ice
anymore.
was a goal. The goal stands. I think it was the right call. That's not any allegiance one way or another. I just think it's one of those bang bang plays where no one can say for sure if that hit his stick. No one can say for sure that it didn't or did hit Ekholm.
Yep.
So I'm like, it's a goal, dude. The call on the ice stands. It's a goal.
So the Kings get the win. Oilers come out, I'm sure, pissed off about that. Kings come out like, hey, there's a chance we could put the stranglehold in the series, and we got our boy Kevin Fiala back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, amazing. Kings pop 3 in the first period, dude. Crypto going bananas.
Yeah.
And I look at you and go, there's literally no chance the Oilers don't tie this game.
Yeah.
It's just too much time.
You just got out too early,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
And dude, and then 3 down your fucking throat in the second period. Like it was immediate, like fuck you.
It was just
tie game.
instant tie game.
Same vibes though. Like Kings like, oh, here the wheels come off now. And then it was like Kings go up 1, and all you gotta do is hold on, and then Kane goal. Hyman, I think, wins it in overtime.
Hyman.
The first thing I want to say is it's not on Korpisalo. I thought he's been playing really, really well.
Yes, I
He's
agree.
a few he wants back, but he's playing really well, and he's getting a ton of shots. The Kings got to watch these stretch passes, dude. Like, remember the first game of the year we went to?
Yeah, Jersey
got
dude.
beat. Yeah, and I'm like, they're fucking turning ones over that they're trying to make, and they're just like, I don't know how Zach Hyman is camped on the far blue line alone, even getting that much space in fucking OT. Like, they had perfect defensive structure, and then you can't let that happen. So they got to watch some of that shit. My biggest takeaway after just being disgusted at watching another 3-goal lead be blown is this is the way this series has gone is interesting to me, because if you're the Kings right now, you are sick to your stomach because you're like, all we had to do was not be imbeciles, and we are up 3-1 and probably going on. But if you're the Oilers right now, I swear they are the ones that are like, we should be up 3-1. I can't even believe it's 2-2.
Dude, that's why this is my favorite series.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think both teams feel sick, but maybe not sick to their stomach because, there's so much volatility with every one of these games. And last game, man, I know I just kind of said that was a tough goal on the Trevor Moore Ortiz play, high stick call. Dude, there was a fucking tripping call on Kevin Fiala in that game. Draisaitl has the puck coming through the offensive zone, and he and Fiala are both kind of curling, and they just hit each other.
Yeah.
It is straight up just like body to body, but they're both curling. So their bodies are in weird positions, and there's some like leg contact maybe,
Yeah.
but it is just a clean body check. And Fiala gets called for that, and then it leads to an Edmonton goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that is one of the worst calls I've ever fucking seen.
Refs have been
like
tough.
The Fiala was looking at the ref like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
And that is one, like, I would love to get a clip of that up because it is just a wild call. The refs have been tough across the board in all these series, but in this one especially, there's been just a ton of controversy. So I cannot wait for the next game in this series because,
dude, so much drama. Like Skinner's so good. They always have their goalie. Skinner gets 3 put on his head in
He's
the
getting
first,
pinball
pulled,
machine, dude.
and Jack Campbell comes in and makes 27 stops on 28 shots to close out that game and save their season. And I'm
It's
like,
fucking
Jack,
crazy,
baby,
dude.
like unbelievable.
Absolutely crazy.
Couple questions. Do you think the winner of Game 5 wins the series? And follow up, do you think either team needs Game 5 more?
no. I don't. I'm not saying I don't think the winner. I'm saying I don't think it matters. I think at this point, I think this series is going 7. That's how I feel, and I don't think either team has established a dominance in home ice. I don't think either team has any mojo edge right now. I think this is why this series is so electric, dude. These games are straight up mayhem. Anything can happen. They're adding new players, losing different players. There's crazy calls on the ice. This series is the biggest question mark for me so far, and it's why it's the most fun. I've watched every second of this series because every single game has just nonsense going on the ice.
It's also nuts being back on the East Coast when these games
Oh,
are
dude.
happening, and it's just bedlam till 1 a.m. And I'm
I
like,
don't know how they do it, dude. People on the East Coast, God bless you, because I was sitting up in bars by myself.
Yeah.
On Friday night at like 1:30 a.m. just trying to watch the end of these games.
They go later than the bars are open in Boston.
Yeah.
Like in Boston, they're like, we're closed. And I'm like, well, the fucking Oilers are on, so put the game on.
I was literally watching an overtime game, and I was like, you can't. I refuse. You can't take me out.
I just wanted to talk about too. McDavid has 6 points in 4 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, obviously making an impact. But Leon Draisaitl, dude,
Yeah,
is out of his damn mind.
it's crazy.
Leads the playoffs in goals with 5, leads the playoffs in points with 9. The Oilers have scored 14 goals in the playoffs, and he has been on the ice for all of them.
I was gonna say I actually watched like a highlight video to like recap because I missed some stuff, and I was like, "Damn, Draisaitl's like everywhere." Like,
That is
every
no
play,
lie.
every
Dude.
highlight.
He's been on the ice for
all,
every single goal that they have scored this year.
Dude, that's Bryant asked me the other day. He was like, are Draisaitl and McDavid like Pippen, Jordan level? And I was like, absolutely.
Yes.
And anyone who doesn't agree with that is a moron. These two are mutants, and it is so funny how Draisaitl every year is just the MVP. But he's like, I don't win the MVP because Connor is an alien brought down from Jupiter. And it is nuts watching these two play hockey.
Draisaitl is better than Pippen. And people are always like, oh, Jordan gets too much credit because he had a great cast, which he did. I'm on board with that argument. But Pippen was a great player. But like Draisaitl, to Dan's point, is like the second best living player.
It's insane.
Like,
it's like actually insane.
what is going on?
It's crazy.
These are some cool things. All-time playoffs points per game. Number 1, Waino, 1.84. Number 3, Mario Lemieux, 1.61. Number 2, Leon Draisaitl, 1.66.
Yeah, that's putting people on notice.
Also, this is Draisaitl's 14th three-point game in his postseason career. That is the most by a player through their first 41 postseason games in NHL history. And he has more three-point games in the postseason, 14, than he has 0-point games.
Yeah, I love
13.
that stat. That shit is so awesome.
Like, are you high, bro?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't know what Wiener Schnitzel he's eating pregame before the playoffs start, but it is out of control what he's doing.
Yeah, and I want some.
Yeah, I would love some.
Yeah. All right, before we wrap up, who are you feeling best about right now? Who are you feeling worst about? I think worst is obvious right now.
Oh, yeah. The Tampa Bay Lightning should off themselves. They should literally be up 3-1, and they are down 3-1.
Yeah,
which is mind-blowing.
You outplayed this Toronto Maple Leafs teams in the last 2 games at home, and you managed to lose both. That is a horrendous feeling.
I want to say a different team because it'll be a fun exercise, but frankly, I would feel the best if I'm the Leafs because I'm like this. What is going on? We have no business being in this position, and here we are. If without them though, I would say depends on how this one goes. Like if Vegas gets this game, and that means they lost home ice. They've got this unknown goalie in, but now they're just up 3-1. You're like, oh wow, this went better than I thought maybe. Yeah, I think I'll take Vegas because Carolina feels good, but like,
Yeah.
the Islanders.
No, I feel you. I'm going Toronto. I think, like we said, they've just got, and this is not a reverse jinx, but like for the first time in what feels like 20 years, you've got that bizarre mojo that's like, oh my God, we're getting wins that we do not deserve. And that's how you win, dude. That's how you squeak out playoff series wins.
I think I saw Redmond text as well, literally while we were sitting here. And I didn't see the whole thread, but I just saw one pop up from him saying, yeah, but we haven't got the bounces in 5 years. And he is completely right,
Absolutely.
by the way.
Yeah.
So if any franchise is owed a few breaks in the playoffs, owed a few seeing Irish shots, it is the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And cash them in, boys. That's how this works.
And I will say, like, my farewell to this podcast, dude, Vasilevsky looks trash.
Yeah, he's just...
This third period was just trash.
I was gonna ask. I was like, I thought he was supposed to be good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
He's like the playoff guy, too, B. Like
fraud
he's-
watch.
Yeah,
fraud watch, dude.
Vasilevsky's
Vasilevsky's on fraud watch,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
That Morgan Riley goal was just putrid. Like,
Just can't go
I don't
in,
know
dude.
where you're looking, dude.
Yeah.
It's just awful.
Just can't go in.
All right. Well, that's it for us today for this playoff episode of the Empty Netters podcast. We will see you guys on Thursday or Friday.
We'll be
Come
back
out.
Thursday. You'll hear us Friday.
But unbelievable stuff.
Skate hard.